So because we're in a library, I'm going to start with a quote from a novel. Being a mother is an attitude, not a biological relation. And that was Robert Henlon. And this is the story of how I changed my attitude about the type of mother I want to be. So I was once a middle school sex educator. I taught pregnancy prevention in 6th grade and 8th grade. And unfortunately, this was also the career that I had when I became pregnant. And as I was walking down the halls, like 8 months pregnant, hand on my belly, with a child that I really wanted, the kids would call out, "Miss Sethi had unprotected sex." What do you say, no? It was incredibly rude, and I would be like, oh, when I have my own kid, I am going to instill my own values and infuse her with my ideas of what good behavior is, and she will be perfect. And, to that end, I was also reading a lot. I read a lot about attachment parenting, and I decided that that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be an attachment parenting like superstar. I read like Piaget's child development theory, and I thought I had this down. My mom didn't know anything, but I'm gonna know. And no one told me how self-righteous that shit was. And obviously Z taught me day one that she was born how that was not going to happen. So some facts about Z that are unique to her. 1, she did not like to be held. I know this because she cried when we held her, preferring to be put down. And 2, she wanted no parts of co-sleeping attachment parenting. So this like $300 contraption that I had purchased to be near me so she could sleep near me at all times, just like sat unused. By 3 months, she was in her own crib, in her own room, away from me. If anyone wants that thing, see me after. I still have it. And 3, she didn't want to breastfeed. The gospel says, breast is best, right? That's what you're supposed to do. She wanted no parts of that, and so she cried until she got the bottle. Then I cried giving her the bottle because my dreams of being that breastfeeding, child-led weaning mom were just like gone. But now that she's a big girl at 8 years old, I can look back on it and say, okay, this makes total perfect sense. She was overwhelmed. Her sensory processing just couldn't handle that much stimulation. The being held, the rock, the constant movement, she needed less in order to begin to think clearly and make sense of the world. And that's who she is. So she's just another beautiful way to be. And at the same time that I had just given birth, to complicate things further, I began to have symptoms of what I now know is an undiagnosed chronic illness. And I had this undiagnosed chronic illness for about 7 years. So at the same time, and the primary symptoms were irritability and exhaustion, like so tired. And so this like really sensory sensitive child who needed structure had a mother who just couldn't give her that for the first 7 years. And when I read Curious Incident, and I read reviews, and I hear people say things like, how could Christopher's mother leave and not understand it? I kind of want to defend her. So I know intimately that thought that your family would be better off without you, that your even-keeled husband would be a better caregiver to your rule-needing, structure-craving daughter. It's kind of what Christopher's mother felt. So as Z grew older, I got sicker. And it all really came to a head where I really started to feel like this is not normal. In her 7th year, we were on a family vacation, and I spent that entire vacation nauseous and sick and unable to really do much. So a few months after diagnosis, Z and I were in bed. She was reading to me, or I was reading to her or something, and I got up and I fainted. And I don't remember much after that, but she was able to fill in the details for me after in her way. And she was just able to list them off. Like, first, I saw that you fell. Second, I saw that you weren't okay, so I went and got somebody. I said, Daddy, come up, Mommy fell. Third, and this is important because this is like kid logic, right? It's like, I got the dog away so that the dog wouldn't lick up the blood because my head was bleeding. And then fourth, I was very brave when we went to the hospital and the machines were beeping. I didn't let that scare me, and she didn't. She did a great job. And you know, just hearing this, I just felt so sad that she had to have a mother who would fall, and that she had to know these things, like these steps of what to do when your mother falls, or ways to get help. And I just apologized to her. I was like, you know, I'm just so sorry that this is who your mom is. And you know, the beauty of it was that she was just really confused. She was like, why are you sorry? I don't understand, but there's nothing to apologize for. And it dawned on me that, so for all of her life, this is how she's known me. Sometimes I'm well, and sometimes I am sick. And she's just accepted that. So this like unconditional love that she shows me, and acceptance of wherever space I am in that moment, informs the unconditional love that I strive to show her. You know, this like radical acceptance of illness, of wellness, of different thought patterns is a goal for me. You know how like when some adults say that they learn more from their kids than they're able to teach them? Well, I actually mean it. Thank you.